What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tip Tuesday. Apparently, if you say the words Donovan Tooth or body shaming, all of a sudden the amount of views that your videos gets just like guys, is it drama? Are we very excited by the drama that happened around this? It's incredibly sad what actually happened. Hey Jamila, thank you for joining. Straight on the money. I think you're the fastest person to ever jump on Tip Tuesday. So apparently, when there's a little bit of drama thrown in there, what did Spice Bay used to do? Was it like this? So you just throw a little bit of drama in there, and then all of a sudden, things are quite exciting. It's very sad what happened. At its core, it's actually just a very sad thing. I feel that the whole situation is revolved around incredible, deep-set insecurities, and when you're not comfortable with yourself, it's very easy to project that, but when it's so passionate and so explosive, it's really just actually sad, because it probably means that is so deep set inside that person. I've always resonated with the term, the world is your mirror, and if something is resonating very strongly with you, especially in an anger or a negative way, it definitely means that you need to look inward and find out what you're not secure about in yourself, because what anyone else does in this world is none of your business. And for you to get so angry about someone or something that you've never come into contact with, physically, or you've never met, that's definitely showing that there is some deep-seated issues there. I feel like my psychology degree is starting to shine through here. What's up, Andrew? Thank you for joining Tip Tuesday. Love having you on board. I was just touching a little bit on the Donovan Tooth situation, body shaming, and how incredibly sad it is that's not a really good reason to be famous, in my opinion. I don't know how famous he was before. I know that he was associated with a clothing brand. I don't know how big the clothing brand is, or I don't do due diligence on the whole situation. I'm not normally someone that really cares about how popular someone is or how many followers or whatever. But I feel like however popular he was before, he said what he said, and then how popular he is now, there's probably quite a big difference. And so, yeah, that wouldn't be something that I would want to be famous for. Something I would like to be famous for, though, is on the weekend I had an amazing workshop. I had such a beautiful little group of people. We got together and we discussed what it is and how it is that you can become your own personal trainer. And wow, did we go... We went a hell of a lot deeper than I had ever imagined that the workshop was going to go. I had an outline, I had a manual, there was some touching on the manual and the points. I think I may have read out loud about 2 sentences of the actual manual, because the manual is just a regurgitation of all of the experience and the knowledge that I have, and so I knew exactly what was in there. And I'd rather talk to people about it than sit in a class and read things to each other. I think that's how some classroom situations go. That's definitely not my style, and Andrew was there. I think he can tell you exactly, well, I don't know, he could try to tell you exactly what happened, because I'm not really sure what happened with some of there, because we would start on exercise topic, then we went into how the body works, and then we were talking about mental health, we were talking about emotional health, there was some spiritual stuff in there. We started talking about capitalism and how the world works and how things are really messed up. It was really cool though. I had a lot of fun. I don't think every workshop is going to go that way. However, there's a workshop coming up again in next month, September. October, we're going to have another workshop. It's still going to be a 2-day workshop. I feel that it didn't drag out, but we had enough time to get through all of the fundamental stuff that I wanted to. So even with all of that up, down, jibber jabber that actually went through, which I think actually was really cool. I don't think it needs to be longer. So 2 days I think was a really good amount of time. However, I'm looking to try to do little 1-day workshops whenever in the week. My week is open, my weekends are open. If you book me in advance, just to give out free little talks. If we're anyone in the Cape Town area, If you know someone, perhaps they're just leaving school and they are confused about what they want to do with their lives, like kind of next step stuff, I would be more than happy to come speak free of charge, 10 or 15 minutes. If it's longer, it can be longer, on just sharing my story and what I've really done in the fitness industry and kind of what is possible. Obviously, I can't promise anything, but I'm definitely someone that's tried a lot of different things in the fitness industry, so I can give you an idea about where it can take you and what you can do with it. I suppose one of the exciting things that I can just like highlight to you, I've been to more than 40 countries in this great planet of ours, obviously pre-COVID, with a South African passport, and fitness is the reason why I've been able to travel. So let me know if anyone is keen for me to come speak at their school, at their work, if it needs to be more directed towards the actual fitness side and looking after yourself. I can do informative speaking, I can do inspirational speaking. If it needs to be kind of like a workshop and taught stuff, I can do that. I can do some things. I've been doing a lot of speaking in my life. I've given seminars on ships for more than 45 minutes at a time. I have been a Toastmaster for more than 4 years. I've spoken at events, I've emceed things, I've done stuff, okay? So if you want me to come, send me a message, I'll come. Let's get to our class. So we're talking about program design. I've spoken about what the session would look like from start to finish. I spoke a lot about, what else did I go through? I basically gone through the basics. If you're a beginner, what should you start with? Kind of given you an idea about what the warm-up would look like, what the main set would look like, and what the cool-down would look like. Now today I want to speak now. I want to speak a little bit more about program design in terms of which exercises that you should focus more on and what you can probably leave out that's just going to be fluff. I went into this quite nicely, I think, and I concisely did it in our workshop. Let's try to follow that train of thought, Neil. No more blah, blah, blah. So if you should base your exercise plan, if you have no injuries, if you're completely healthy and you are fit to exercise, you should base your exercise plan off of compound movements. That means, I've gone through this before, but multi-joint, multiple muscles at the same time. It's not just going to burn a lot of calories. It's not just going to make sure that you're hitting all of the stabilizers and all the stabilizer muscles in every area in your body. It's also going to help for your balance, your proprioception, which is super important. Proprioception is knowing how your body moves through space without looking at your body. So a good example would be when I took a selfie video just an hour ago or so, just before when I was doing my leg workout. I was selfie videoing myself while I did like a kettlebell snatch type of thing, and then I was doing an overhead squat. I because my body awareness is good, I could literally look and talk to the camera and know that my hips were going back enough, that where my knees were, where my body is in relation to space. I wasn't busy hurting myself while I was doing that. And I could also kind of talk and hold the contraction. I kind of learned that from CrossFit, because in CrossFit you're trying to breathe and you're breathing really heavily, and talking is kind of like breathing anyway. So I said I was going to keep this concise. Damn it, Neil. Keep on track here. Just freaking focus. All right, so keep it to your foundation movements, which are your compound exercises. Your main 4 exercises that I would recommend. If you could just pick 4 exercises and you wanted to work the entirety of your body, the closest you're going to get to doing that is if you do a squatting for anything in your lower body. There's lots of different variations of squats. Any sort of pushing, like bench press movement, so like a push-up. So I'm going to say the word push-up in case you don't have any equipment, but obviously a push-up lying on your back is a bench press. It's pretty much the same movement. A pull-up, so if you can grab onto anything above you, if it's above your door, if it's a tree or whatever, a pull-up is going to work most of the muscles in your back. The pressing and the push-up movement is going to be working most of the muscles in the front part of your body. So that is 3. And the last one is a deadlift movement. So whether it's a body weight deadlift or if you've got some sort of resistance force and you're holding it either in front or behind you. That's going to challenge all the muscles in the back and also all the muscles around the spine. I hope that makes life a lot easier. So the 4 movements: squat, bench press or pressing like a push-up, pull-up and deadlift. If you do those 4 movements, you basically got a full body workout. Squats, lower body, bench press or push-up, all the muscles in the upper body into the arms, all of that. A pull-up, all the muscles in the upper back and also into the back of the arms, the lats, all of that. Your deadlift is going to challenge all of your posterior and anterior chain muscles, depending on if you've got the weight in front of you and behind you. That's everything. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Neil can count. Awesome. So exercises out of those 4, if you were just going to do those 4 movements, I would say do these 3, the push-up, the squat, and the pull-up movement. You can do those multiple times a week. You can literally do those every single day if you wanted. The deadlift movement, this is the TNC. If you're doing deadlifts and you're using resistance force, resistance force means, is the resistance force the right word? If you're using some sort of resistance, then make sure that you're not doing your deadlift more than once a week. So I've gone through extensively long programs where I was doing deadlifts once a week and I was doing a heavy deadlift session and I was squatting at least once a week as well. That seemed to balance. I never got any injuries. I never felt like I was overly challenging my central nervous system. However, I was sleeping really well. I was eating really well. I was focused a lot on my recovery. But if you are going to be doing a heavy deadlift session, I wouldn't recommend more than once a week. Okay, if you're doing very heavy deadlift sessions, like you're loading like up to maximal or 80% and above your, or 80% and to 100% of your 1 rep max, maybe going above, then I would say you don't need to deadlift all the time. Well, at least you don't have to deadlift every single week. It can be maybe every other week, but the way that you're going to, if you want to get a heavy deadlift, for example, you can just get, like you can get your squat up. So if your back squat or your power squat, so there's 2 different kinds of back squats. I'm going off chain here a little bit, but normal back squat that I call a high bar squat, the bar is kind of sitting on your trap area, okay? A low bar squat, which would be more of like a powerlifting version of the squat. Powerlifters don't like it when you call it powerlifter squat, but if the bar is sitting low on your back, okay, that automatically makes you hinge further forward when you are doing the exercise. And if you are hinging further forward, you can actually get a couple more kilo, or you can actually get quite a bit more force in your squat, because as you hinge forward, you're activating more glute area and hamstring. And glutes and hamstrings are really big muscles, okay? Quadriceps are big muscles too, yes. So if you're doing the high bar, the conventional back squat, that is going to be challenging a little bit more of the quadriceps. But if you are low bar squatting, you're still activating your quads, but you're getting more of your glutes and hamstrings. And if you're firing up your glutes and hamstrings more than your quads, you've actually got a little bit more oomph. You've got an oomph, okay? So you can do different variations of the back squat. So let's say Monday is a lower body day and you do high bar back squat, and then Friday is also lower body day. You can also do the low bar squat. And then if you were doing programs similar to what I was doing when I was doing Olympic weightlifting, it would be like high bar Mondays, front squat Wednesdays, and low bar Fridays. And then depending on what you're looking to fire up or what you're looking to achieve, I went through squat sessions with just low bar. I went through some squat sessions with just high bar, but for Olympic weightlifting, it was more beneficial for me to do low bar squats. Okay, so you can do multiple sessions of your squats in a week. Your body is able to do it. You're not messing up or messing around with the central nervous system too much. That is a very, very good tip, because if you're on my Train Me Academy program, if you're on the app, everyone says this when they get to the 6 weeks. Gosh, Neil, there was a lot of legs in those workouts, because every time I'm giving you an interval workout, I'm giving you a mid workout. I hardly really give HIIT workouts, because that's normally for people that want to be athletes. But if I'm giving you an interval workout or a mid workout, there are leg exercises as the majority to get your heart rate up. So I'm using them in a different way. But I know that the body, you've got much less chance of getting tendinitis in your knees and in your hips and your ankles than you do in your elbows, because elbows is a big place for tendinitis. Some people have problems with wrists, and then shoulders can always be a problem. So if I was doing a lot of low or upper body stuff in the sessions that I was just trying to get your heart rate up, then I've got a high chance of risk for you getting an injury. And if you get an injury, then I can't help you. And if you've got an injury, you can't help yourself. So I'm trying to avoid that always. Obviously, injuries are bad. So when I'm jacking your heart rate up, I'm getting you to do squat movements, even though I might have given you a leg day before. So leg day in like a resistance form day when I'm trying to build your muscle. And then the next day, I'm just trying to get your heart rate up, kind of trying to get a cardiovascular response. Then there'd be squats there again. You'd be like, oh my gosh, Neil, bruh, I squatted yesterday and I'm squatting again. You'll be like, yeah, but yesterday I made you do a squat in a way that you could only do like 10 or 15 reps or whatever. And today I'm giving you like a bodyweight squat that you could probably do 20, 30 reps of. Hopefully, if you've got strong legs, you should be able to do like 50 air squats without taking a break. If you're an intermediate, if you're a beginner, completely different story. Let me get back on track. So the exercises that I would recommend doing more of than less are your squat movements, just because I started going through this, but I'm going to finish it. You're burning a lot more calories when you're activating more muscles. So the biggest amount of muscle group is in your legs and in your back. Those where the most muscles are in the body. If you take a look at your anatomy, you will see this. So when you're trying to burn calories, you want to activate more muscle fiber, especially that's the advantage of doing like mid interval training, HIIT classes. You are going to be firing up your big muscle groups, and when you do, you're not just burning calories while you're exercising, you're burning calories after for the rest of the day. How freaking cool is that? Burning calories when you're not exercising, people like that idea. And then you also need to maybe only exercise 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes if you're doing a hectic HIIT session, as opposed to going for like a 2-hour run where you'd burn like, I don't know, 1,000 calories. You could burn like 800, 600 calories in the session in like a 30-minute HIIT workout, 40-minute HIIT workout. But then T's and C's is you're still going to be burning those calories after you finished working out. So as you still continue your day, because your body is trying to replenish all of the glycogen and all of the stuff that comes in your muscles, that your body's taken out of your muscles in order to perform the movement, in order for the contraction to happen and all of that fun stuff, fish-based. Okay, so you can do a lot of lower body movements. You don't have a low risk of injury. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be really hurting having a chance of having tendinitis, and you're burning lots of calories. And also, when you are doing your muscle building or you're doing your anaerobic exercises, say your to build the muscle. If you build muscle in your legs and in your back, there's most of your muscles there. So if you build that muscle, your metabolism is then faster. Yay! Why is it good to have a fast metabolism? Well, then that just means that you're burning a lot more calories when you're doing nothing. Yeah. If you've got big muscle mass or a lot of muscle mass, that means that every single day you burn more calories than someone with less muscle than you. And then this whole like feeling good and looking good becomes a heck of a lot easier. Would it be wrong to train legs every day, Jamila asks. No, look, every day. I would say you can have lower body movements in every day. However, I wouldn't say do anaerobic training every single day. That's just excessive. So let's say, for example, Jamila, you've got you want to do 4 resistance training sessions. So when you're working anaerobically, when you are doing things like you're either doing muscle endurance, you're doing hypertrophy or muscle building, you're doing strength, or you're doing power work. Let's just say you want to exercise every single day. I wouldn't really recommend it, but let's say you want to exercise every single day, and you have 4 sessions where you're going to be doing one of the things that I've said. You can do 4 leg sessions. That's fine if you space them out, And then even in between those sessions, the extra 3 days that we have, if you're doing cardiovascular training, but you're going for, let's say you're going for a run or a cycle, which is majority using your legs, your body is capable, or is much more capable, let me say that, TNC, of having that amount of repetition done and having that amount of stress on your limbs and your lower legs, well, not in your lower legs, in your lower body. Because biomechanically, we are meant to get from point A to point B. And so when we were hunter-gatherers, or if we ever needed to hunt, or all of that stuff that may have used to happen in the past, our legs are much more likely to carry us, and we will have much less chance of getting injury. So you could train legs every single day, and the TNC would be pretty much that scenario that I just told you about. What did you do on my face here? So I have been threatening for doing this for a while. I have taken on quite a lot, but I'm going to make these videos into audio files, and then from the audio files I'm going to make this into a podcast. Because as fun as it is looking at myself and you looking at me just like sitting here, and I'm not really doing much else than sitting here doing things with my hands, and then sometimes I see like a pimple on my face or something there. It's much easier to probably take this information in if you've got headphones on, or while you're driving in your car or anything like that. So podcast version of this stuff is incoming. How did we get to 21 minutes? I don't even know sometimes. Okay, whoever is still here, I think maybe Andrew and Jamila are still in the room. I'm not really too sure. Is there any other questions you have about program design, about which movements that you can do a lot of? And I also mentioned the movements that you should stay away from. So if you're doing, like for example, deadlifts, and you're using some sort of external resistance force, so say a kettlebell or a dumbbell or barbells or anything that is like extra resistance, I would stay away from doing more than one deadlift session per week. I think I've gone into the reasons why before, but it's got to do with overstimulating the central nervous system, and then you can injure yourself, or then you can start to get sick because you've worked your system. And yeah, I don't want to go on and on about the same things over and over. How often should you train back and core? Good question. So core is super important, and back is kind of part of your core. So I don't see core, so a lot of people nowadays see core as your abs. I see ab muscles as your abs, and then core as the muscles all around your trunk, okay? It's not just the muscles in the front. So when I was at school, and before I'd started doing any resistance form of training, I was doing just sports. I was quite athletic. I got my legs pretty explosive from doing sprints. So my main sports at school, I played squash my whole life. So squash is basically stop-start sprinting. It's basically HIIT training, running after a tiny little ball and doing a lot of lunges. So my legs got pretty strong. I never really done any upper body work per se. I played squash, cricket, I did athletics, and I played rugby for a couple of weeks and I didn't enjoy that, so I stopped that. So it was squash, cricket, athletics, and all of those things, besides for me being a bowler, I didn't really do much upper body work at all. So I'm just trying to tell you a little bit about core. So what happened was, when I started taking my athletics more seriously, and I was doing a lot of, I was basically training because I made the team for St. Stithians College for long jump, triple jump, and then I couldn't just make it for sprinting, so I was in the high jump. No, I didn't make the high jump team. I don't think I made the high jump here. I was quite close, but I didn't make it. So I was long jump and triple jumper for St. Stithians boys back in, what was that, 2003, 2004? God, I'm so old. Anyway, let me get to the point. So because I hadn't trained those muscles, I did a long jump, and I actually ended up hurting my lower back. And I was kind of out for about 2 weeks. And just like tweaked something as I took off, I probably like overstimulated or whatever. So the importance of core and training your back is super important, because after that point, before I tried to get back into athletics, I started doing resistance training. So I started doing a lot of deadlift work, I did ab exercises, but I've never been someone that's like, oh, let's go to the gym and do 30 minutes of abs. I think I'd tear my eyes out of boredom if I actually ever did that. But my point is, when you are training your back, and if you're doing exercises like the deadlift that I've mentioned, you are actually training your entire core as well. Okay, so core meaning the entire body. You don't have to do it every single day. If you want to make your core strong, you could do it like an every other day sort of thing. I wouldn't maybe do more than 3 sessions of core a week. You don't really need to, because if you're training correctly and if you're doing compound movements like I told you, you are actually, hello Nelly, you're actually invertedly training your core anyway. So let's look at the deadlift. You're holding a weight in front of you, and it's just in front of your center of gravity. So if I turn to the side, the weight is in front of my body. So automatically when I lean down and I start to pick it up, and I have to be in a kind of a hunched over position, and I start standing up. As soon as I start standing up, I'm fighting for my body I'm fighting my hips to, instead of being leaning forward, to come like into a erect position, okay? And in order for me to fight that position, for me to hinge my hips forward and trying to get it from that position when I'm down up, I am using pretty much all of the muscles in my stomach, all the muscles in my lower back, everything around my core, because I'm challenging my spine with a load in front of me being hinged over to hold that load and then come into an erect position. Okay? And in doing that, because your body is always, the muscles around your body, around your spine, are all there to try to keep you erect and sitting upright. Because of that, you are actually working, in order to safely go from that position to that position, holding the weight, you're working all of the muscles in the core, in the back, and all the muscles around the spine. So if you're just doing compound movements mostly, inadvertently you are a lot of the time actually training your core without going into the gym and doing, like, I don't know, first thing that comes to mind when people say core is they say plank. I was like, oh, it's an isometric exercise, it's okay. It's not the best. I would say I have a really strong core, and I've never been a consistent guy going to the gym. I have been consistent in the gym, but I haven't been a guy consistently going to the gym being like, oh, crunches, 2 crunches, and then side twist, and then this crunch, and then I don't know, it just bores me. So I have gone through stints where I've gone like full sessions, and then like the last 10 minutes maybe banged out some abs, but I never really kept those up for very long. And you don't need to do ab exercises to get abs. That's a lie. If you think that ab exercises are going to give you abs, yes, they will build the muscles there that show abs, but it's more about getting rid of the tube that a lot of people cover here, which are actually covering their abs. Cool, so I think we went through quite a lot of cool stuff today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So takeaways from today, we now know which exercises we can do a lot of, kind of which ones to stay away from, and then which part of the body to exercise more rather than other parts. Next week, I think we're gonna get off of, I think we've finished program design now, unless you guys have any other questions. So we've gone through our first series, identifying which which workouts, if you were to pick free workouts, say from YouTube or some website, which workouts are gonna be the ones that you need to get to your body for your goals. That's already in the series. You guys can go back and check those out. Now we've also gone through program design of kind of how to put the basics of your program together. If you want me to go into more detail and then also go through your different phases of a program, so I can go through that as well. Just let me know in the comments if you'd like to. When you're going through your progressive phase, your maintenance phase, and your recovery phase, those 3 are super important. I think I will touch on that next week. Just maybe thrown in there, or if it gets, just actually ask me. If you guys want it, you must ask for it. And then just know that at the end of next month, the 24th and the 25th, so it's a Saturday, Sunday, we're going to do another workshop on how to become your own personal trainer. And again, I'm available for speaking. If you guys want to get me for a free speech, or if you guys want me to give you a workshop, or if you've got something at work that you'd like me to come do for you, I can facilitate things. I've done corporate training before, so I can facilitate sessions in person. I'll make it COVID friendly. I can also do my online app, so I can come and facilitate a workshop, teach you the theory, and then you guys can all follow along at work through the app, because the app will take you through things step by step, and it's super COVID friendly. That's half an hour. I can't believe that I do this every week, and I just speak to myself for 30 minutes. Like, I don't even think that I'm just like, anyway. Thank you so much for joining. Love seeing you guys. Thank you for the questions. I love it when there's interaction. And just have a beautiful day. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Bye.